We will begin our year talking about parts of expressions. The following are definitions that an expression consists of. It can have constants in it. A constant is a value that does not change. If you think when you drive a constant speed, you're going the same speed. You have it on kind of like cruise control. So a constant speed does not change. The value is always the same. To find a constant in a expression, it's a number that is by itself. A variable represents an unknown value. We use letters to represent variables. The most common is x, but it can be any variable. So any value that you don't know, you plug in a variable, and you can plug numbers into that variable to change the outcome. A coefficient is a number that is being multiplied by a variable. The coefficient will be a number in front of the variable. And the terms. A term could be a single number, it could be a variable, or it could be a combination of numbers and variables. Terms are separated by an addition or subtraction sign. A quick way to tell how many terms you have in an expression: you always have one more term than you have addition or subtraction signs. So if you have 3 addition signs, that means you have 4 terms in the expression. If you have 5 signs, that means you have 6, and so forth. For an example, we have this expression, and we want to identify the constants, coefficients, variables, and terms. So constants first. If we plug in numbers for x, y, and w, that will not affect the 4 at all. The 4 will always stay a 4. So therefore it is our constant. For coefficients, they're numbers in front of the variable. So 2 is in front of x, 6 is in front of y, and since this is a 9, you have to look at the sign before it. Since this is a subtraction sign before the 9, that makes that coefficient -9. The variables are the letters, so that would be x, that would be y, and that would be w. And then terms, to count the terms, there's always one more than there are addition or subtraction sign. So if you look at the signs, we have one plus sign, one subtraction sign, and another plus sign. So we have 3 signs. That means we have 1, 2, 3, 4 terms. So we have 4 terms. They would consist of 2x would be one term, 6y would be one term, -9w would be one term, and 4 would be the last term. Example 2, we want to identify our constants. So -7, since there's a minus sign in front of the 7, it makes it negative. It'll be our constant. Our coefficients are in front of variables. So 2 is in front of x, so it's a coefficient. 6 is in front of y, it's a coefficient. Our variables are the letters. So we have an x, we have a y, and the terms. Always one more term than there are signs. So we have 2 signs, so that means we have 3 terms. And the 3 terms would be 2x, 6y, and -7. Go ahead and attempt the first you try. Pause the video. Okay, our constants. In this case, we have no constants. There are no numbers by itself. The coefficients would be 6, -7, and 9. The variables would be x, y, and b. In the terms, we have 1, 2, 3 terms. They would be 6x, -7y, and +9b. Go ahead and pause the video and do the second you try. So for this one, we have our constant would be a -4. Our coefficients would be 6 and 4. Variables would be x and t. Terms would be, we have 3 of them, and they would be 6x, 4t, and -4.